Hey everyone, today we're gonna have a raiding video. I'm actually not gonna upload a gameplay video today because I think a quest tier list might be very interesting, and I also hit 15k recently on ladder, and actually I'm like 15.2k right now, which kind of shows that I have a good understanding how quests work and maybe I can help you a little bit. So I'm just gonna hop straight into it and go quest by quest and then tell you how good I think it is and then rate it. So the first quest is Parasol. This was removed for a long time, but now it's back. And this quest is actually pretty good, but it's not insane. So I would rate it B tier because you get it pretty early. You get 8 HP on your minions, which is the most important stuff actually. The stat is not that important most of the time, unless you go for Baron and stuff. But it gives you a lot of tempo, so you don't lose fights, you can level aggressively, you can bear game more, and just be a bit more greedy. The next one is Stolen Gold, and I think before the new patch, I would have put Stolen Gold in S tier, but now, because of the new card, I think it's called White Mane, the 8/5 that gives a minion taunt, I don't think that quest is that good anymore, because it's very easy for your opponents to just snipe the Baron, and even if you hit all your cards with Leapers and stuff, your Baron is gonna get sniped and you're gonna lose. So I don't really like this quest that much anymore. It can give you a lot of tempo though, with like Mechano Tank, or you can use it for Avenge cards, so I'm still gonna put it in B tier. Then we have Sinstone. You cannot get this quest with every hero, but if you get this quest, it's normally very, very good. Every time you discover a card, you get 2 copies of that card, and especially with Nagas, if Nagas are in, this quest is very, very good. If Nagas are not in and the requirement for this quest are too high, I sometimes skip it, but normally this is just an always pick. Then we have Wisdom Ball. Wisdom Ball used to be S tier for me, but recently they changed it without really telling us. They made the Miro shop less frequent, so you don't copy your board that much anymore and get it in the shop. And that was really the strength of this quest, because you could just play one brand and then you copy it and then you find another brand, you have a golden brand, or the same with Forgao or Nomi or stuff like that. So it's not as helpful as it used to be. And it's pretty hard to get, so I'm actually gonna put it in C tier. I would put it in B, but the quest disappointed me too often in my latest games, so I'm gonna put it in C. Then we have one of the not so good quests, which is Teal Tiger Sapphire. I'm still gonna put it in D because it's not as useless as this, for example. I'm gonna talk about it later. But it's good when Murlocs are out and Demons are in, you can force Firebat. Other than that, you can sometimes force Max and do something with Magnetic. But yeah, it's really not a good quest, and it's also not that easy to get, so it's not even that much tempo. D tier. Then we have this quest. This is probably the worst quest in the game. It's super hard to get, and even if you get it, it's not even good. It doesn't give you tempo or anything. It's slower than most quests, so I don't know what else to say about this quest. I don't think I ever even played it since the last patch. I mean, the last time I played it is maybe like a month ago or something, and I played this game a lot, so that shows you how bad this quest is. Then we have Red Hand, and I think Red Hand is very underrated by a lot of players. Every time I pick it, people in my chat are like, oh, this quest sucks. But I think this quest, if you get it before turn 6, it is very, very good. And it's one of these quests where it's very important when you get it. If you get it early, it's very, very good. If you get it after turn 6 or something and you have to hold cards in hand, it's gonna be too slow and you're gonna lose HP by holding cards in hand, which this quest you don't want to do. You want to be greedy. You want to keep cards in hand, play them, have tempo, and use that tempo to be greedy and level fast. So I'm going to put it B tier, because it can be A tier, it can be C tier sometimes, so let's put it in the middle, B. Then we have Mirror Shield. I actually haven't played this quest that much anymore because you cannot get it in Murloc lobbies anymore, and that was really the strength out of it. If you get it in Murloc lobbies, you put poison on your Murlocs, you have poison Divine Shield Murlocs like in the good old times, or like with George, and it's almost unbeatable. And it's pretty good they removed that, but it made the quest not that good anymore, so I'm gonna put it D tier. Actually, I'm gonna put this in order. I think it's better than this. I think Stone Gold is better than Theo, and I think Red Hand is better than Parasol too, so let's try and put this in order actually. The next one is Alter Ego. This is the one that gives you plus 7/7 actually. Yeah, plus 7/7 for untier or even tier minions. Odd or even tier minions, depending what turn it is. And this is also one of these quests that is very good if you get it early, but it's not as good as Red Hand if you get it early. So I'm gonna put it in C. I'm gonna put it behind Wisdom Ball. It's the same thing with this than it is with Sapphire. You can use it with Firebat, it's pretty strong. You can use it with Magnetics and Urzul and eat stuff. Or just for tempo and then level greedy and then do something else and not play into the quest. The next quest is going to be Victim Spectra, and this quest can be sometimes actually very good, so I kind of want to put it in A, but it can also be kind of useless, so I think I'm going to put it into B, but in front of these quests, because you can really high roll sometimes with like a Nomi, get double Nomi, or go for 6 drops, get double Fios, or double the new 6 drop card that buffs your taunts. It's also very good with this. There's not really any strat you want to do this quest. Sometimes you can greed and just play 1 minion on your board if you have a lot of HP, but I didn't really do that much, like maybe 2 or 3 times with a brand or something if I got it really early. You kind of want to avoid comps that have tokens like beasts and mechs, because then it's just gonna give you tokens and these suck, you don't want them. But yeah, other than that, I think it's a pretty solid quest, and let's put it B tier. Then we have Menagerie Mayhem. I thought when this quest came out it was insanely good, but the more and more I played it, the more and more I saw that it's not that great. It gives you a lot of attack, but it also makes your minions kinda fragile to anything that's token related. Like your opponent plays 1 coiler and it pretty much just destroys your whole comp sometimes. I've had some games where it worked out, but it's very rare, so put it in D tier. Then we have Snicker Snackers, probably one of the best quests too, especially with Murlocs in, because you can just put a Toxfin on your board and then your whole board is poisoned. I know it's not really the best strat, but in this meta, poison is the best thing you can do, and Snicker Snackers really helps you to get poison going. You can also play with Elementals, Tavern Tempest, and the free drop that buffs your Smogger, the free drop that buffs your Elementals. It's also pretty good with that, so I also did that before. Then we have Evil Twin, and Evil Twin changed. Before it changed, I would have put it like B or C tier, because it was good but not that insane. But right now, they changed it that it works with Khadgar. You can basically put 1 Khadgar on your board and play 5 units instead of 6, and then it copies your biggest minion 2 times instead of just 1 time. And if you play double Hogar, it copies it 4 times. So you can just play 1 very big minion, let's say a Deflector or a Mackerel, and then 2 Khadgars, and then you're gonna have 5 Deflectors that just keep bouncing on each other and stuff like that. And it's very stupid. Every time I play it myself, I think it's stupid. Every time I face it, I'm really annoyed at it. But it is very, very strong. So I'm gonna put it on A tier. Behind Snicker Snackers though, because that's a bit more consistent. Then we have Medallion. I think Medallion is one of the worst quests. Every time you play a Tavern Tier 1, for example, you use 2 other Tavern Tier 1s +2/+2. Same with Tavern Tier 2, then it's gonna give 2 Tavern Tier 2 +2/+2. But it's very, very slow and really not that good. So I'm gonna put it in F tier. Maybe here. Actually, F tier is completely useless quest, right? So I'm gonna put it in D tier. Because this is completely useless, this is sometimes useful. So then we have Ghastly Mask. Ghastly Mask can be very, very, very good, especially with the addition of the new 6 drop that buffs your taunts. The end of the turn card is gonna buff the taunts double, which is a lot of scaling. Instead of +16/+16 that you get when you have 4 taunts, it's gonna give +32/+32. And that's a lot of stats. Also, they added that you can get Randall from it. I think that's not that strong, because Randall doesn't give you tempo like Major Domo does, or the 6 drop. It's called Fortress, I think. I don't like it that much with Randall, but the addition of the new 6 drop makes this insane. So I think this is pretty strong. I'm gonna put it A tier. Then we have Ritual Dagger. This is more like a tempo quest. If your other quests are bad, you can play this and kind of just scam a top 4 or a top 3 and be happy with it and just say, okay, I'm gonna try and lose the least MMI I can this game. But it's actually a lot of tempo, so I'm gonna put it C tier, but I'm gonna put it... actually, Wisdom Ball is probably better. I'm gonna put it behind Wisdom Ball. Then we have Lambs, and this is probably like one of the favorites for people that play not that high MMR lobbies, but I play high MMR lobbies, and Lambs just doesn't give me enough time most of the time. Every time I need to do this quest before I get the reward, I normally die. Because I have to play like 30 minions, or I have to play like 10 battle cries or something like that, and it's just too much. You cannot do that in high MMR lobbies and not die, because people are gonna have quests, they're gonna out-tempo you, they're gonna kill you. So I think this is D tier. It's probably better than these, because you can high roll with it, and if you high roll, you probably win the lobby. but the risk of getting top 8 is just too high for me to pick it. Then we have this quest. This quest is probably one of the same things, it's just not fast enough in high MMR lobbies. You're just gonna die before you finish it. So I never pick it because it's really not that playable, and even if you get it, it's not even that good. +12/+12 on your whole board is kind of meh. I mean, it gives you some tempo for 1 or 2 turns, but then people outscale you. And it's not like with this quest that if you actually finish it, you probably win the game. With this quest, if you finish it, you are not even winning the game most of the time. It's not even great. The next one is Smoking Gun. It's one of the more boring quests probably, because all it does is just give your minions +4 attack. But it is pretty strong. So I'm gonna put it in A tier, because if Max or Beast are in, you can just play your comp around this quest and get an easy top 3. Maybe sometimes even win or get second. And if you don't want to play around this quest, you can also just use it for tempo, go to 6 and play a real comp. So it's good. I like it. Next one is Tiny Henchman. That's the quest that gives +3/+3 to 3 jobs or less. 3 free jobs or less. This quest is the same. It's just too slow in high MMR. You cannot really compete with people that have good quests. So I'm gonna put it D tier. Even behind those two, because like I said, with this one you can actually high roll Firebat and win the game, or play Max and win the game. With this one you probably don't win the game because of the quest if you play this. Now the next one is gonna be this one that gives you 2 tribes every end of the turn. And this quest is actually not that easy to rate, because it depends what tribes you get, right? If you get 2 Murlocs a turn, that is very good. If you get like 2 Demons a turn, that doesn't sound that great. Then again, Naga's pretty good. Elementals can be good because it's a lot of money. Beast is pretty bad. What else is there? Quillboss is okay. I think I'm just gonna put it like B tier then. Probably better than Red Hand. Probably worse than Stolen Gold. Actually, no, it's probably better than Stolen Gold, because like I said, this quest is just too easy to counter right now. Then we have another Hidden Body, and this quest was also removed for a long time, but it's back. And this quest is very good sometimes, because if it says, for example, play 4 Murlocs to get it, it's like insane. You just cycle Murlocs and then you play Murlocs. Same with Pirates, you can just cycle them. Same with Elementals. It can also be bad though. It can be like put 10 cards in your hand, which is very hard to do. But then again, if you play Nagas, it's very easy to do. And 10 cards in your hand is easy because you just play Spellcraft and then you get this every turn. In general, I think this quest is very, very strong. It gives you a lot of cards, a lot of discovers, and lets you find a comp that you want to play. So I'm gonna put it in A tier, probably better than Smoking Gun even, just because it's more fun, and Smoking Gun is not that fun. The next one is Yorktastic, and this quest is not that good, even though a lot of people like it because it's fun to just spin the wheel every turn. It's not useless though, because sometimes you can get prizes out of it, and prizes are pretty strong. Sometimes it just gives you some stats, which is also a lot of tempo. Sometimes it gives you a gold minion. That's actually one of the best ones. So I'm gonna put it C tier here. Let's put it before Alter Ego, just because people like it so much. Next one, Cookbook. And this actually used to be my favorite quest when quests came out, or like my favorite reward, I guess, when quests came out, because it's just so fun to play. It feels a bit like playing Galrix. You just cycle cards, get big minions, then you put Magnetic on. If you find on Horgar, this is completely insane. If you watch some of my YouTube videos, you see how insane this quest can get. Like, I just had a board with like 500 Deflectors and Faripas, for example, which was pretty fun. So I'm gonna put it for sure A tier. It's probably better than... I don't know if it's better than Evil Twin, but it's for sure more fun than Evil Twin, so that's where I put it. Then the next one is Kidnap Sack, one of the latest rewards that came out, quest rewards that came out. And this quest doesn't seem that strong, because all it does is give you a card back into your hand that's either on the board or in the shop. But what is insane about this quest is that it's really easy to get it. The requirements to finish this quest are sometimes just crazy, like play 4 Murlocs or play 3 Battlecries. So a lot of the times I finish this quest on turn 5 or 6. Sometimes I even finish it on turn 4 if I'm holding cards. And if you finish it early, you can just get minions out of the shop for free, which is a lot of tempo. You can level fast and then win the game and snowball. So for me, this quest is for sure A tier. I even put it before Sinstone, because I think it's just very, very strong. Then this quest, I think this quest is where a lot of people have different opinions. It depends how lucky you get, I guess, on how you want to rate this quest. I think I got pretty lucky last times I played this. I got Lambs all the time, I got Sinstone all the time, I got stuff like Evil Twin, and just good quests that helped me win the game. I heard other people that got only bad quests all the time, like Henchman, and just not really anything helpful. But for me, I'm rating it right now. For me, it has been very good, so I have to put it in 8 here. Probably like here. Actually, probably like here, just because how good it was for me. I might play it a little bit more in the future and then completely change my opinion and say it's bad, but for now, hey. Then we have Venom, and this quest kind of surprised me because what it does, it gives all your minions +8/+8, but whenever they attack, they die. So you cannot really play Deflectors, I thought, because if you play Deflector first, it attacks and it's just gonna die. But then I played it and I found some strats where you can still play it. Like you can play Deflectors, for example, you just have to put them in the back and taunt them, for example. Also, if you want to play Beast, this is completely insane. And obviously, Exodia Pirates, just having a bunch of Scallywags attack with +8/+8 is also very strong. And the upside is that if people want to beat you playing Exodia Pirates, normally what they have to do is block your Scallywags that attack, but if they attack, they will always die, so they cannot really block you, which is also pretty good. And it's also fun. How good is this quest though? I don't think it's good enough for S tier, even though in Beast lobbies, I've never really not gotten a top 3 of this quest, I think. The lobbies have to be kind of perfect for this quest to be good, so I'm gonna put it like here, I guess. A bit better than Ghastly Mask. Worse than Evil Twin though, because Evil Twin is just stupid with Khadgar. So yeah. Pretty happy with 8 here there. Then we have the next one, Blood Goblet. This one gives +1 attack every time you lost 1 HP. So if you have 20 HP, you lost 20 HP, which means you get +20 attack on the most right minion of your board. And it's not that bad, you know, but you kind of need perfect tribes with it. It kind of reminds me of old Vol'jin Body that just gave you a lot of attack, but it doesn't really give you any HP, so you kind of die to a coil or anything. Which is not the best because you don't want to die to just one coiler. But again, it's not the worst. So I'm gonna put it like C tier here because I just like playing mechs and deflectors. I also like making big attack hydras, and this is pretty good for doing that. Then we have the Xerath quest, and this is also one of chat's favorites, which means I have to play this quest a lot because every time I get it offered, chat is just spamming me to pick it. Honestly, it's not that bad, even though I don't like to pick it because it's more like an RNG quest, and if you're a high MMR, you want to like reduce the RNG the most you can because RNG kills you. Xerath didn't give me a lot of good minions, but in the worst case scenario, it always gives you a gold. So it's probably better than Goblet, it's probably better than York, it's probably better than Dagger. So I'm gonna put it here behind Wisdom Ball though, because this quest gave me some nice games. I don't want to punish it too much for being bad to me lately. Then next we have a Hidden Treasure Vault, and when this quest came out, it was probably one of the worst quests because it was hard to get, and all it did was give you 1 gold, then 2 gold, then 3 gold. Like every turn it gives you 1 more gold. And it doesn't really have that much of an impact when you get it. And that's kind of what you want quests to do. Give you a lot of tempo whenever you get them, to be greedy and win the game from a good spot. But they made it easier to get, and if you get it like on turn 5 and then you get 1 gold more already on turn 6, you can kind of cheat some curves, and in the late game you kind of get a lot of gold. It's kind of like playing Galrix. So I don't really hate this quest anymore. I'm probably gonna put it B tier then, actually, behind Parasol, just because it's one of the quests that you get early, and quests that you get early are normally pretty good. Then we have the Golden Hammer, and then this quest is easily the best quest in the game. What it does is it makes a friendly minion golden for 1 turn. And this quest is just so versatile. You can use it on Avenge minions to be strong or to give you a lot of gold for that turn. You can use it on scaling units like Agam, Bran, Naomi to just scale fast during your turn. You can use it on stuff like Mama Bear or Crocolisk to just be strong in the fight. And then in the end game, you can use it on Selfless, you can use it on Baron to just have a big a good minion as a finisher to just kill your last opponent. So this quest is also not that hard to get. Like most of the time you have to play like 8 tribes, like 8 mechs or Murlocs or something like that. But it's not that hard to do. You get it pretty early so that it's good enough. Then the last quest is Partner in Crime. Now, I only played this quest 2 times. I only got offered this quest 2 times in my life, and I only played it once because I got it one time with a hero that doesn't really have a good buddy, so I couldn't really pick it. So I cannot really rate this quest. I don't know. Let's just put it here then, because this is kind of impossible to rate. If you get this quest on Slysssa that gives you infinite gold, it's obviously insane. If you get it on like, I don't know, Hook Tusk or something, doesn't really do anything. So hard quest to rate. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this tier list. I hope I had some tips on how to play the quest. I didn't really talk that much about it. It was more about rating the quest and showing you how I think the best quests work. And like I said earlier, the rating of this quest is mostly in high MMR lobbies because they play very differently than low MMR lobbies. So if you think a quest is good and it works for you and you play in low MMR lobbies, keep picking it, because every lobbies are different and whatever works for you works for you. Keep doing what you're doing, but this is the tier list for the lobbies that I play, in my opinion. And yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. See ya!